have you ever experienced discrimination based on your race? And if so, how has that affected your day-to-day life?
When I was young, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, my mother told me at a very young age that you, my lovely son, have 2 strikes against you immediately. You're black and you're a man. So everything that I had been doing in my life was under a microscope. Regardless of what I was doing or how I was doing it or where I was or how I was, it didn't matter. I remember one of the first times I ever came up with racial discrimination against me, I was in, I want to say like 7th grade. It was a friend of mine's birthday, and his birthday happens to be on Halloween. So I was at his house, and we decided we're going to go to 7-Eleven, get some Slurpees and candy before we go back and have an even bigger sugar high with cookies and candy and cake and all this other stuff. So we decided we're going to 7-Eleven. So my brother and I were there with the 2 young black boys, and my friend, 2 of my friends, his friend and then my best friend, they're white. So we go into 7-Eleven. My brother and I go to get Slurpees. My friend and his other friend went down the candy aisle. 2 police officers come into the 7-Eleven. Now they're standing at the door. My friend and his friend were in the candy aisle for a good 5 minutes or so, just trying to pick their selection. They go and pay. My brother and I get our Slurpees. We go to the candy aisle. Here come these 2 white police officers strolling up to my brother and I, asking us every question known to man. Every question. And literally, me being the smart aleck that I can be sometimes, I looked at the officer and I said, "Excuse me, officer," very calmly, by the way. "Excuse me, officer. My friend and his friend were just down this aisle not even 5 minutes ago doing the same thing my brother and I are doing right now. We're not stealing. We're just taking ourselves, making our selection. We're going to pay. We're going back to my friend's house. Is that okay with you?" This officer tells me to my face, "No, hurry up." So I said, "I'm not finished making my selection. Neither is my brother. So we will leave once we've made our selection. Thank you." And he said, "Oh," and then me again being a smart aleck, he goes, "Oh, you think you're so smart, huh?" And I said, "Yeah," and I got the honor roll to prove it. Yeah. So I made my selection. I said, "Happy Halloween, officers," and I walked out the door. Mm-hmm. Went back, and my friend to me and was like, "Scott, do you know what you just did?" I said, "Yep, and I'm damn proud I did it too." And we went back and had cookies and candy and cake. Senior year of high school, it was the summertime. I just graduated from high school. And I was outside of my own house, putting the garbage out. A cop car rolls by my house, literally stops in front of the driveway, shines his light, and said, "What are you doing?" And I turn around and I look and I go, "Officer, this is my house. I'm putting the garbage out at my house." Here he goes. Stupid officer goes, "Oh, sorry, we thought that you were the guy who was going through people's garbage." I was like, do I look like somebody that would go through somebody's garbage, let alone my own garbage, outside of my house? Mm-hmm. I said, "What's your badge number, sir?" He showed me his badge number. I said, "Cool. And when I go inside, I'm letting my mother know, and we're calling the precinct tomorrow morning." I said, trust that. And I said, "Officer, you got some nerve coming in front of my house where I'm putting the garbage up that I do every Wednesday night, coming in front of my house and shining your siren on me like I'm some type of common criminal." When I was in college, I had multiple incidents when I was in college that happened. I went to school upstate New York in SUNY Geneseo, class of 2009 when I graduated. When I was upstate, my freshman year, you know how out in the dorms you guys had those whiteboards and everything? Mm-hmm. Well, me and my roommate, God rest his soul, he was a Marine. He got killed in action. But my roommate, Mark, coolest dude I've ever met in my life. 6'5", 245 pound defensive lineman from Fairport, New York. Oh. Nobody messed with me. Nobody messed with me when I was with this guy. He was at class. I was in my room. And the whiteboard was out there. And I had just written Mark at class, Scott at class until such and such a time. So I had left. I come back. My roommate Mark hadn't been back yet. So I walk up to my room and literally I could see from down the hall, because my room was literally at the very end of the hallway. I look and I'm going, something about this whiteboard just from my naked eye doesn't look right. So I walk all the way to my door. The whiteboard had been erased from what I had originally said on there. And on the whiteboard, kid you not, it said, go home, niggerhead. Kid you not. I took that whiteboard off the door. I threw it so far across the room and screamed. And I literally said out loud, whoever effing did this, show your face. And then to find out that this was not the first time it had happened to anybody on campus. And my campus when I got there was less than 3% African American. So when I got to school, you could imagine that I was looking for anybody else that looked like me. So when I was able to find those people, I would sit and listen to them and talk to them. And the thing was, our stories were not much different. And then it just got real interesting where in my second to last semester, my brother and I lived across the hall from one another because we went to the same school. So, kid you not, I went downstairs to go check on my laundry. I come back up and I see the university police pull up and will walk on the floor. Had no idea what the hell they were doing there. But I'm like, all right, fine. They just here for somebody, whatever. So go up to my room, and here come these university police officers walking down the hall. Now, I didn't think much of it at that moment. But then they stopped at me and my brother's room. And my roommate, who was white, his name was Jesse, he looks up at the officer and he says, hey officers, can I help you? And the officer points at my brother and I said, we're here to just talk to these two guys. Huh? Okay, wait a minute. Okay. All right, so my brother and I standing there, and the university police officers they said that they were looking for somebody there was a noise complaint in my dorm hall. Mind you, you could hear a pin drop in my dorm because my dorm was usually the quietest dorm on the campus. You could hear a pin drop from Kentucky in my dorm if you really wanted to. And I said, noise complaint. So I'm literally looking around my room going, what loud noise is going on in here that there was a noise complaint from my brother and I. One brother's room, my brother didn't even have a speaker system in the room. Neither did I. So they come in my room, searching my room, looking for something. And I'm going, excuse me. You're searching my room for what exactly? Oh, it's a noise complaint. Do you see anything in here that would make a loud noise besides me jumping up and down? And even that wouldn't be that damn loud. I said, officer, you made your point. Please exit. My roommate looked at me and said, oh, Scott, do you realize that they didn't even want to speak to me? They just wanted to speak to you and your brother? Click. Picked up the phone, called my mom, and I said, Mom, Sean and I were just racially profiled. Mm-hmm. I went and told my advisor the next day about what happened. And my advisor was like, so they sent 2 university police officers to your dorm for a noise complaint? I said, yeah. And he said, first of all, that's improper procedure. If there's a noise complaint, they tell the RA first.
Right.
The RA gets told first, and then the RA goes to where the noise is being made, and they make the notion that they give a warning. If it happens again, then there's a write-up that goes to the RD. And if it happens again, then the RD tells the university police after that. How the hell does it go from noise complaint to university police collecting 2 black guys? I've never been so ticked off in my life. And then, just when you think things couldn't get any worse, This happened about a year or so ago. I'm a school teacher. I was going to the train station. Walking the train station from where I lived was literally up the street. I could walk to it. I walked to it every morning. I got towards the bridge, and all of a sudden, a cop car who had been following me for some time shines its light and sirens and stops me. And I'm sitting there going, okay, let me just, instead of getting crazy right now, let me just be calm, because when he got out, his hand was on his gun. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to be calm here because I'm not trying to get shot at 5:30 in the morning when nobody else is around except me and this cop. So the officer asked me where I was headed. I said, I'm headed to the train station. I'm going to work. My train comes in about 20 minutes. He says, all right. And by the way, he's still on his gun. He says, can I see your ID? Can I see your ID? I said, which ID would you like? I said, which ID would you like? Would you like my actual ID, my teacher ID? Because I'm a school teacher. He said, whichever one. I said, okay. Please, officer, watch me. My hands are here. I literally had to walk this dimwit through my entire process so he could get, because his hand was on his gun. So I had to say, my hands are here. I slowly reached into my pocket. I slowly took my wallet out. I showed him my wallet. I slowly opened it, and I showed him my identification. And I said, may I take my wallet back? He said, sure. Grabbed it, put it in my pocket. I said, then I asked the $1 million question. Officer, is there a reason why you stopped? Can I ask why you stopped me? He couldn't give me a straight answer because he kept babbling through it. I said, excuse me, officer, I just asked you a simple question. Is there a reason that you stopped me? Because if you don't mind, my train comes in 15 minutes and I would like to not miss my train. So he says, all right, you can go. Thank you. So I continue to walk. I get to the train station. Wouldn't you know it, that same cop followed me all the way to the train station? Just to make sure I was actually going to the train station. Now I'm dressed in a suit with my backpack on. Where the hell else am I going at 5:30 in the morning? Are you kidding me? I said, hey, officer, click, took a picture of him with his badge, went upstairs, got on my train, and went to work. Soon as I got to work, I picked up the phone, I called the precinct, and I said, I was just racially profiled by your officer, badge number such and such, at this time in the morning in this town on Long Island. I need you to investigate. Nothing happened, of course, but as you can see, there was a series of these things that happened to me over a point of 18 years, from 15 to 33. So, yeah, to say that I have gone through some stuff is an understatement. But the fact is, it didn't even matter that I've been a school teacher with 3 college degrees for the last 5 years. It doesn't even matter. It just matters that the skin color is this. And because my skin color is this, look, y'all, I can't wash this off. Like, I can't wash this off. I can't scrape it off. I was born this way, and I'm proud to be this way. What's your problem with me? You know what I'm saying? So hope that answers your question.